Let's talk about a secret feeling. A feeling you probably think you're the only one who has. Spoiler alert, you are so not alone.
You know the one I'm talking about. A friend texts to cancel plans, and you feel this whoosh, this wave of pure, sweet relief. It's not disappointment, not at all. It's like you just dodged a bullet.
So, what does that feeling actually mean? Because that quiet little exhale, it's not you being lazy. It's not you being a bad friend. It's a clue. It's your brain trying to tell you something profound about the way it works. And what it's saying, well, it might completely change the way you look at your own front door.
All right, let's get into it. This is all about what's called your brain's avoidance loop. Think of it like a safety mechanism that's gone into overdrive, quietly shrinking your world without you even noticing.
So here's the deal. Your brain is basically a prediction machine. Its number one job? Keep you safe. To do that, it's constantly logging everything. Every good memory, every awkward conversation, every bad date, it all gets filed away. And it pays extra close attention to the bad stuff, the embarrassing stuff, so it can steer you clear of it next time.
And this is where your home enters the picture. It's not just a building. For your brain, it becomes a confirmed safe outcome. It knows the variables. It knows you're safe there. But the outside world? Oof, that's a giant question mark. A place full of unpredictable outcomes. And pretty soon, your brain starts seeing it as a threat. Basically a dark alley you really shouldn't go down.
This all feeds into something psychologists call the avoidance loop. And it's exactly what it sounds like. A cycle, a trap, really, where avoiding something that makes you anxious actually makes you more likely to avoid it in the future. It's sneaky, and it works without you even noticing.
Let me break down how this loop works. Step 1, you get an invite to something, and you feel that little knot of anxiety in your stomach. Ugh, I don't want to go. Step 2, you find an excuse. You cancel the plans, you decide to stay home. Step 3, poof, the anxiety is gone. Instantly. And step 4, this is the kicker, your brain floods you with relief. It gives you a little hit of good job for avoiding that threat. You are quite literally training your own brain to see home as the reward and the outside as the punishment.
Okay, so at this point you might be thinking, oh no, am I agoraphobic? Let's slow down. It's crucial to understand the spectrum here, from just being a homebody to having a clinical condition.
Let's look at the difference. On one side, you have being a homebody. You just prefer home, it's where you recharge, you feel good there, it's a personality thing. On the other end, you have clinical agoraphobia. We're talking severe avoidance, a feeling of actual terror or panic at the thought of leaving. This isn't a preference, it's a debilitating condition that requires a clinical diagnosis.
And just to put it in perspective, actual clinical agoraphobia is pretty rare. A big 12-month study found it affects only about 1.7% of adults.
But here's the really interesting part. Most people live in this gray area in between. You're not agoraphobic, but the world has just started to feel a little optional, hasn't it? Staying in is just easier.
So how did we get here? Well, modern life has basically removed all the friction that used to push us out the door. It's created the perfect environment for our worlds to shrink.
I mean, just think about it. You can get groceries and your favorite dinner delivered right to you. You can work from home. You can see your friends on FaceTime. And you have an endless library of shows and movies to stream. All these amazing conveniences have accidentally wiped out the reasons we had to go outside.
Now, on the extreme end of this whole spectrum, there's a phenomenon that was first studied in Japan. It's called hikikomori, which means pulling inward. It's used to describe a state of severe social withdrawal, where people isolate themselves at home for 6 months or even longer.
Now, for a long time, everyone thought this was a uniquely Japanese cultural issue. But it turns out that's not the case at all. This pattern is now being documented all over the world. It's not about one culture. It seems to be a human response to modern pressures.
And the research shows that these seeds can be planted really early. In fact, studies show that kids who tend to withdraw socially are way more likely to have social anxiety when they grow up. It tells us that once this pattern starts, it can be really hard to shake.
Okay, so if any of this is hitting a little close to home, what do you do? Well, here's the good news. Since this is just a mechanism, a loop, it can be broken. Let's talk about the path back outside.
First things first, this is not a moral failing. You're not weak or lazy. Your brain is just doing its job, seeking immediate relief and avoiding perceived threats. That's it. Understanding that it's just a mechanism, that's step 1.
So the proven way to break this cycle is through something called gradual exposure. And I want to be clear,
This isn't about throwing yourself into a massive party to face your fears. No way. It's about taking small, almost laughably small steps. Seriously, maybe it's just walking to your mailbox and back, then the next day, to the end of the block. The whole point is to collect new data for your brain, to show it, hey, look, a new safe outcome just happened. Outside.
Because the real goal here isn't to conquer your front door in some epic battle. It's for the front door to become completely and utterly unremarkable again. It's just a door. That's the win.
So, this all leaves us with one final big question to ask yourself. Is your home a refuge, or has it become a cage?